Welcome to the Workplace Minute, powered by H3HR Advisors and sponsored by Paychex, one of the leading providers of HR, payroll, retirement, and software solutions for businesses of all sizes. My name is Steve Boese. How remote and hybrid working has changed American workers' eating habits. More workers are cutting back on lunchtime spending for dining outside of the office and are instead saving their money to spend when they're off of the clock. The rise of remote and hybrid working arrangements has kept many bars and restaurants' lunchtime businesses from recovering to pre-pandemic levels, according to data from the digital payments platform Square. But while weekday transaction volumes from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. were down 3.5% last year compared with 2019, credit and debit card transactions climbed 4.2% on weekends and 0.3% during weekday happy hours from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. The Square data reflects broader societal trends like how foot traffic has rebounded in major U.S. cities' downtowns far faster on evenings and weekends than during workdays, which additional data from the University of Toronto researchers has also found. These signs point to a new normal for Americans' post-pandemic leisure spending, which has stayed resilient despite the increased cost of going out. Fast food chains are launching promotions to lure back diners turned off by price hikes, and alcohol brands are pushing canned cocktails as bar and restaurant menu tabs rise faster than grocery bills. Nevertheless, many consumers remain determined to spend only after unplugging from work. That's been the largest transformation in the last 4 or 5 years, the consumer habits of office workers, noted the report from Square, which provides electronic payment systems used by many bars, restaurants, and stores. But that money has gone somewhere else. More often, consumers instead spend money on the weekends. Nowhere was the shift toward evening and weekend spending more stark than in Boston, one of 23 major cities Square analyzed. There, a 10.1% decline in weekday lunch transactions, mostly a factor of downtown office workers, were more than offset by a 10.3% increase in weekend and happy hour transactions. With more consumers choosing homemade lunches over $16 takeout salads, restaurants are constantly trying to come up with things to entice more people on the weekends, said researchers at Cornell University. Young consumers eager to socialize are a prime target for bars and restaurants as they look to draw evening and weekend crowds. One of the underreported costs of the return to office mandates enacted by organizations is the often increased cost to employees of simply feeding themselves throughout the workday. For most employees, sustained periods of working from home allowed the development of simple, less expensive, and often healthier alternatives to restaurant dining or fast food takeout meals on the go. Much like the commute itself adds time and expense to employees or called back to offices, the loss of the lower costs and increased convenience of having to only walk a few steps to their own kitchens during the day represents another burden to employees that organizations should not ignore as the remote versus in-person working wars continue to drag on. We will continue to cover these important topics and trends in the world of work here on the HR Happy Hour Media Network. That's it for the Workplace Minute, powered by H3HR Advisors.